Yvonne, how bad is the situation in the city?
Yeah, testing 7.4 million people, that is going to be a huge undertaking. You mentioned China has done this many times before, but Hong Kong, it is a first. How they're going to pull this off is a key question. And is it too late, given this outbreak now has spread to a way that is now bigger than Wuhan at the start of the pandemic? What we're hearing so far is that, yes, Hong Kong is expanding some of these testing capabilities. That is thanks to help from mainland China. And they're hoping for this testing campaign to go on for about a month or so. They say they can test the entire population in 1 week. So if they can do this 3 times, they're hoping that this can be done in less than a month or so. On top of what we heard yesterday with that, where they're hearing that travel bans are going to be extended into mid-April. Also, schools out for the spring, it seems. Face-to-face classes will remain suspended, but they are pushing forward the summer break to now, essentially, because they have to open up some of these school campuses to isolation facilities, given just how strained the healthcare system is at the moment. Carrie Lam once again ruling out the possibility of a full lockdown, though, although Bloomberg has reported, according to our sources, that Beijing has told Hong Kong that perhaps a full lockdown may be needed to stem this outbreak. At this point, Carrie Lam says, let's focus on the testing campaign first. But there's still a lot of lingering questions on, even if we do pull this off, do we have the capacity, the rooms to house the people that are going to be found positive after this mass testing campaign?
Yvonne, a pretty grim set of circumstances to be delivering the budget today. What are we expecting?
Yeah, there's a lot on Paul Chan's plate, the financial secretary. We're expecting that he is going to be opening the fiscal taps, expecting a 4th straight deficit for this budget. About 74.5 billion Hong Kong dollars is going to be that deficit. According to consensus, that's about 1% of GDP. That is still smaller than the government's initial estimates. But we're talking about the longest string of shortfalls in at least a decade for Hong Kong. They do have the reserves to pull this off, of course, and plenty of liquidity positions, it seems, at this point. But we are expecting everything from tax rebates, support for businesses, and even for consumers in the form of consumption vouchers, which did prove to be quite helpful last year in boosting retail spending. Also look ahead to Chan addressing things like the Federal Reserve in its rate hike cycle. How does it impact Hong Kong? He says it could be manageable at this point. Local banks have robust liquidity, he says, and look for clues in terms of the property market. City saying property prices could fall as much as 10% this year, although Bloomberg Intelligence is thinking we may not see a lifting of any of these cooling measures, given the fact that property prices may not, have not dropped too drastically as of yet.